A cow cannot appear in a margarine commercial. A child cannot be seen or heard in a beer commercial. A dentist cannot appear in a toothpaste commercial. Anyone who wants to launch a new beer has to tread very carefully. Imagine a bloke called Jim. Say his family have been brewing hypothetical ale for 200 years in the north of England. They've decided to go national and are working on an advertising campaign, but they haven't checked the rule book.
Right.
Scene 2, slate 1, take 1.
When the wife's gone to bed at night, I always sit down and relax with a pint of hypothetical ale.
Cut! You can't do that. Regular solitary drinking must not be promoted.
Take one. I love the kickabout in the park, and at half-time there's no better pick-me-up than a glass of hypothetical...
Cut! You can't say that alcohol enhances your performance.
I love the ladies, and the ladies love me, and we all love hypothetical...
Cut! You can't link alcohol to sexual prowess.
Slate 1, take 1. When it's my round, there's no
Cut! Can't imply that anyone drinks in rounds. Cut!
Oh.
You can't promote an alcoholic drink for its strength.
No under 25s, no children. Must not be advertised in a context of aggressive or antisocial behaviour. Oh, for f***'s sake. Might as well give up and go surfing.
Hey Jim, great idea.
Excuse me, do you have a minute?
Actually, we don't. Thanks.
Excuse me, do you have a minute?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you have a minute?
Actually, I'm in a big hurry.
Big hurry,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
No. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a minute?
Do I have a minute? Yeah, I've got a whole hour.
Oh, you got a whole hour. That's
Yeah.
good. It's your lunch hour.
Yeah.
Right, well, we're from the BBC in London,
Uh-huh.
and we're making a programme about time.
Okay.
And we're just asking people to stand still and estimate 1 minute.
All right.
After a minute, you tell me when to
Is
stop.
this a joke?
No, it's a serious programme about time. No cheating. Okay, I'm starting the clock now.
Okay.
Starting the watch now. Now.
Give me a hint. Peter, give me a hint.
It's getting close. Can't say about now.
I think it's been a minute.
Now.
You got 45 seconds. You made 44 seconds. 36 seconds. You made 33 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
You're a man in a hurry.
That's what my wife says.
For hundreds of years, the first thing that the visitor to London would have seen from the edge of the Thames Basin would have been St Paul's Cathedral. Then years later, in the 60s and 70s, the skyscrapers grew up in the city, the tallest of which was the NatWest Tower, which never really looked finished. As we zoom along the river, past Tower Bridge, we see the Canary Wharf development, which dwarfs them all. But how does it blend in with its surroundings? Let's take a glance from here in Greenwich. Greenwich Park, architecture in the landscape. Behind me, the beautiful buildings of Inigo Jones and Christopher Wren. In the opposite direction, an ancient avenue of trees leading down to a central gate with the church dead in the centre. When we look back this way, there's a lovely line of symmetry going through the two towers, and then, regrettably, the fellow over there does rather spoil the symmetry. There is an answer to that. We build a secondary tower and put it here. And then, and this is the big plan, it's going to be expensive, but it might just work, in the centre we build an enormous tower, thus restoring the symmetry to the famous view at Greenwich.
George Daniels is a genius, one of the very few men in the world who can make a watch by hand from start to finish. For the last 30 years, he's been involved in an obsessive quest to develop the most accurate mechanical wristwatch ever made. Amongst watchmakers, he is legendary.
My first introduction to watches was at the age of 5, when I somehow or other acquired a watch. I don't know where it came from. It's a cheap watch. And I got into it, and in that watch case I saw what was to me the centre of the universe. It had a curious completeness. The content started at one end with the mainspring and proceeded in a circle around the inside of the case to the vibrating balance wheel. And it was a complete composite world, and didn't seem to need any assistance from outside. It was perfectly happy to work quietly away in its closed case. If I had no tools, I would undo screws with penknives and poke the watches with knitting needles. But there were several people living nearby whom I had to avoid every day because I'd had their clock to repair and ruined it. Didn't want them to know. So it was a bit anxious at times.